Welcome to the Filmistines, the double feature podcast. Join us as we unravel the interwoven experience of the continuous conversation of cinema. Take part in pairing movies with their cursed counterparts, movies that share DNA, or even pairing questionable duos by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier grant the ability to request films to further the discussion. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready to join the 100-year conversation. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you guys for joining us today. I am joined today by my Awkwafina friend, Lucy.
Dang. Hello, everyone.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with brand new episodes of the Filmistines. Some recent episodes include May, December, The New Color Purple, Gigi's Little Women, our 2024 Oscar nomination discussion, reactions, and the new Disney bust, Wish. Bet you they wished that didn't happen.
Yep.
Remember to leave nice comments, thoughts, and ideas over on our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines, and come by and subscribe. We appreciate all the support.
Are you stressed and filled with anxiety like I am? Maybe in a bit of pain from that car accident you had a few years ago? Well, the sponsor of today's episode, Hempville CBD, has us covered. They have the highest quality products created by chemists and doctors. Hempville carries everything from CBD to THC dispensary grade without those despicable dispensary prices. Order your Delta 8, 9 edibles and vapes along with the THCA flower and get free shipping when you spend $50 or more at hempvillecbd.com. Check out the link in the description for more details.
But today we are discussing the Illumination duck migration. I didn't know it was going to happen, but this may be the worst movie of 2023.
No.
Yes.
This is not the worst movie of 2023.
This is right up there with Little Mermaid and
No.
Teenage Kraken.
No way. No. Give it a little bit of credit.
No, sir. This movie sucked ass.
This movie did not suck ass. It was not the best movie, but it did not suck ass that you can have the audacity to put it up there with those two flops.
We had a Disney abomination, an Illumination abomination, and a DreamWorks abomination. All in the same year.
What was the DreamWorks abomination?
Teenage Kraken.
Oh, duh. I don't agree with that statement.
This movie got kicked off with these birds that were stopping by at this pond, and they ran into the little duck, or I guess the older child duck. The migrated girl duck was like, hey, you should come with us. And he's like, and she's like, I'm going to go tell my dad. And he's like, the migrated ducks come over to the native ducks, and they're like, you're going to come with us? And the daddy duck is like, no, I don't think so. What? And then they fucking go. And then Uncle Dan comes with them just because the baby duck gives him like puppy dog eyes. I wanted to fucking blow my brains out about 6-7 minutes into this movie. I was hoping it would get better, and I guess it does, just because of how bad that introduction is, that kickoff for the road trip. I guess it does kind of get announced better, but man, I guess at least they saved at least they gave me the worst first. So I guess I'm happy to report back that I did not like Migration. I thought Migration was going to be sort of cute. I thought it was going to be at least as good as Mario, but that was dumb of me. What do you think of Migration?
It wasn't great. Let me put that out there. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it. I wasn't bored. There were, of course, several moments that are like, what the fuck? Why would you think this is okay to do right now? Of course. But it did not bore me. It did not make me want to run to my phone or to turn the whole thing off. But let me also say that bird movies are maybe one of the worst movie genres out there. I mean, animated birds are just not my type of style. They're not. I don't want a bird as my protagonist, as my main character. I don't. Chicken Little sucked ass.
Yeah, it's fair.
Rio
Oh,
sucked
yeah.
ass.
Rio sucks.
Storks, that sucked ass.
I've never seen that.
Valiant.
I've never heard of that.
Oh my god, that one sucked ass. I will say that probably the cuter ones are the Happy Feet movies, but really just the first one. The second one sucks. But, you know, it's penguins. Are we going to put them in a bird movie? Technically, they should be, but I don't know if they're not flying, so we don't have this great story of movement and adventure.
Mm-hmm. Chicken Run, they don't fly.
Chicken Run doesn't fly, and then Chicken Run's a classic. Chicken Run's awesome. I'd like to separate it from these flocks.
Flying bird movies and non-flying bird movies, minus Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, because the movie is kind of bad.
That one was kind of bad. And then, not gonna lie, I did like the Angry Birds movie.
Oh, okay.
Not gonna lie, I think there are some very hysterical moments in that, but I might have to rewatch that to confirm whether it's going, you know, where it's going. But none of these bird movies that I just named, besides, of course, Chicken Run, are amazing. They're not something I'm going to recommend to somebody. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I've ever seen most of these more than once. Besides, maybe Happy Feet. Happy Feet, I kind of like that movie.
I didn't realize there were so many bird movies, animated bird movies.
And they're not great. So here's another bird movie that's not great. But it didn't completely suck how you're claiming it did. Yes, the movie starts out with the two, you know, migrating ducks versus the native ducks, as you called them. But before that, we have this dad duck that's very anxious to be bringing up kids in this world where there's a lot of harm. I'm always partial to stories that have that kind of personality in a character where they're like mega anxious about the dangers of the world. Probably because I can relate. I don't know. You know, I don't go out past a certain amount of time. I don't drive into Memphis if I can avoid it. So maybe that's me being so partial to these characters. So I like that. I like that when we start out, he's giving his kids this story about they're gonna fucking die if they venture out in the world. And as I'm partial to this personality trait in a character, I'm also really partial to the growth that they have throughout a story, and they learn that, okay, no one's gonna die immediately if you venture out a little far from home or do something out of the norm, take a little risk in life. And that's something this movie was missing. I mean, from day and night, this dad just, boom, switched his personality. And I didn't like that. There was no growth. It was just a switch. He saw Uncle Dan being a fucking lonely, scared old duck man, and I guess he was triggered into shit, I have to take some risks or I'm gonna end up like him, and then just ran with that, which I don't like that. I didn't feel a lot of hesitation that usually comes with these types of personalities, or that nah I'm good, until they see that other people are having fun and they're like, okay, well, you know what, they're okay, let me try it. So there was that element missing throughout the whole movie. And you are right, it is weird that they're just like, hey, migrate with us, and he's like, no, why would I do that? And the wife's like, we should have done that. Like, why this is all happening all of a sudden? And just because our son liked this girl for one split second, I mean, they didn't even talk, they didn't even have this, like, you know, there's always a shot of a girl doing something kind of cute or seductive to make the other character like, whoa. But, you know, she didn't really do anything here. And they're ducks, so I don't know. But we didn't have that feeling for us to even want to root for these two. So there's a lot missing here. But I did like the overprotective, anxious daddy duck as our start to this adventure.
And did you like the road trip?
Not really. I liked some sequences that I thought were pretty good. Kind of story-wise were but animation-wise were really awesome. Like the city sequence where they're they're flying in the sky, and all of a sudden they start seeing buildings, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? And then they start, running into these large buildings. They come down, they see the lights, and they're completely mesmerized about what's going on. They were mesmerized, and I was mesmerized along with them. I didn't like the villain here, the chef guy. I didn't like how he looked. I didn't like anything about him.
No, he was so bad.
He was very bad.
The lack of story, the lack of character, the focus on just the complete stupid. I hate to say it, but it just screams that like 3-year-old movie. This is some Coco Melon shit.
Yeah, and especially for a family dynamic type of movie, we're missing a lot of the feel-good elements that come with those. No part in this movie did I say, oh my god, they're a family, they love each other. Like you do. There was no cohesiveness with them.
Yeah, you would have thought that the mom and dad would have fought at some point, and they would have had to make up. You would have thought maybe when the chef dude comes to pick up those chickens at the farm that maybe something bad might happen.
There at the chicken farm, the boy, I think his name is Dax, does have his wings stepped on, which I like that. I did like that story element, and he couldn't fly anymore. And I like that they kept going with that, because I feel like in a different film, they would have made him heal real quickly, or all of a sudden he had the perseverance to get out of an illness like that, or a defect like that. And he didn't here. He got his feathers stepped on. They got all mangy looking, and his will didn't all of a sudden make him want to fly. I did like that nice little touch, although I did think it was stupid that he had to put in the tropical bird. I don't know what he was supposed to be.
Like a parrot or something.
Yeah. I did think that was stupid that he had to put that bird's feathers in with his feathers.
That gave him an in with his girl. He had some flair from his Jamaican friend.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
That's where we landed with that. We started with it and we landed with it. I can't get away from that. It's the point of this movie is just stupid. And that's fine. It's just a movie that is...
It's a movie that your kid will have on repeat over and over because there's so much stupid to it. Uncle Dan, everything he does is stupid.
I don't think so. I think a kid would watch this once and be pretty much good. I don't think there's anything here for a kid after that first watch.
I don't know, because kids like stupid. They would probably think it's hilarious when she's, saying please to Uncle Dan and having her face blow up like that. And because they're not even puppy eyes. It's not even a cute, like, oh, she's so cute. She looks disgusting begging like that right now. And the pigeon, I feel like a kid would kind of like that sequence with the pigeons fighting over the bread and fighting over the sandwich, and having the mom kind of be a badass in that moment, getting chased by the chef in the kitchen sequence, and, maybe them getting caught with the helicopter. I don't know. I feel like a kid would. I also really liked in the chicken farm sequence.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to see that echoed so recently after Dawn of the Nugget. Isn't that funny?
I know. And it made me think, how many, twirly slides have we seen this year in film? And just kind of go with, my thought goes to Barbie.
Yeah, that's funny.
But in that, I did like in that sequence, the chickens here, the chickens, whatever, the white chickens, how when they're doing yoga, they're able to do like an egg pose. And they look like eggs. I like that. That was kind of cute.
I did like the egg yoga pose. That was fine. That was fun. It reminded me of something kind of strange though. How, in especially like adulty road trip movies, the party always ends up in this weird situation that's just completely, unable to be kind of explained.
Yes.
Whether that's fueled by drugs or some just weird KKK nonsense or like an orgy or something, some just weird nonsense you'll see in road trip movies. It kind of reminded me of that, and I guess it feeds into it because we have this paradise made out for chickens to be sold and everything. It's kind of surrealistic and crazy in that way.
That was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, but it's that obvious thing to include in that bird movie, though. Especially if you're going to introduce some kind of domestic, raised bird that you eat. It's funny, haha, they think they live in paradise, but we're going to eat them when they get a little older.
Yeah, it does seem a little trite.
I like what they did in like Dawn of the Nugget with the collar and just the whole factory nature of it. It has much more of a focus, and then here it's just a pit stop, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, it really lacked the situations where the audience is feeling that oh shit moment, which I thought the son was going to get taken away and now we had to go get him. But we didn't. He just got his feathers trampled, and all right, now we got to deal with that. I guess the moment we kind of got that oh shit moment was when the chef picked them up, and now the little birds had to go rescue their parents, which they didn't even rescue their parents, really. Kinda, but not really.
Yeah, and I hated the whole bit where they were sitting next to the cook in the helicopter, the two of them when they were in the cage, and then they realized that they could just stand up and walk.
I thought that was funny.
I fucking hated that.
I was, I don't know, I thought maybe, I've said it several episodes, I have a child mind. I thought that was hilarious.
I wanted to flip the table over, It's like, oh, not this shit, I fucking cannot.
I think I giggled to myself.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
I did think the salsa dancing was a bit silly. They had a salsa dance to get out of the salsa dancing.
Hated it. I wanted it to end.
That was rough.
I hated the design of the cook too. I think you said that. I hated
he looks stupid.
His body shape, his arms, his ears, his fucking hair, his round ass eyes. I hated it. Whoever designed him needs a demotion immediately.
Yes. I did like, however, that he didn't talk.
I also like that, but it was at the cost of just like slapstick, just violent comedy. It just wasn't. I just hated it. Hated the whole thing. I mean, I do like that choice though. I just don't like it here, I guess.
Okay.
I like it in theory, I should say. I hated the kitchen scene.
That was
it was a mess.
That was dumb. The part where she's reaching to get the key and he's holding on to her. That made me kind of uncomfortable watching that. I was waiting for that to be off the screen. It went on a little too long, yeah. Like, all right, next, come on. I get it. There was enough cuteness here for me that wasn't in The Little Mermaid or Teenage Kraken. The balloon the little chick got was cute. That was a cute balloon. There was some cuteness. Uncle Dan had his cute moments. He kind of reminded me of that bird in the Aristocats that's always drunk. I wish we you said it. We should have developed our characters a lot more. Let's give them more. I mean, how is that? I think he was a goose. How is that goose in the Aristocats gonna have more personality? I mean, he's on screen for like less than 5 minutes. I think it's Uncle Waldo. And he's already given so much more than Uncle Dan here that has a lot of screen time. We should have made him a drunk. We should have made him have a sob story about why he was lonely, why he got left.
Yeah, make him the fan favorite in that way.
Yeah, and also give that heart punch on why the dad here decided to all of a sudden risk his whole life and his kid's life that he had just told him a story about why we don't leave the nest.
And then they immediately leave.
Yes. It's missing a lot.
And then, man, not to mention the heron scene.
Oh, that was disturbingly bad.
I think every scene struggles. I can't remember the pool scene. Like, I don't know, maybe they're in Florida or something, and it's at night, right around when they get recaptured.
Yeah.
I can't remember that scene, but even the final scene where they're like, we gotta take the penguins back to Antarctica, and they all make that face. I can't.
Very kid movie.
3-year-old, right? Can you even imagine a 5-year-old watching this?
Yes. How did you feel about Awkwafina being another bird here?
Oh.
And Danny DeVito voice acting for Uncle Dan.
Danny DeVito's cool. I like his cadence and everything. I think everyone does.
He's got a nice voice for this type of character.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I'm mostly indifferent, I guess, towards him. I don't really know of anything that I really like him in. I've never really watched Always Sunny. But Awkwafina, man, I can't believe she was a bird twice in 2023 and 2 of the worst movies of the year. That's pretty impressive, actually. It's like she made it her prerogative to partake in garbage. Because she was in Renfield, too, which is pretty bad.
That's right.
So maybe Awkwafina is a mark of a terrible movie.
Damn.
She does have a little bit of a cartoony voice, but she annoys me a little bit.
She has an annoying voice.
I mean, I have to give her props, though, that she seems to know that she has a weird sounding voice, or she has some weirdness inside of her that she can pull out. And maybe that's for those little kids out there. Maybe she really speaks to them, which is fine. But I guess I might just start steering clear of Awkwafina movies.
Yeah, I hear that. I just thought it was funny that she played 2 birds this year.
That's weird. I don't know if anyone could never say that,
in 2 sucky movies.
All right, man. Well, thank you for watching that movie with me. That was a quack job.
It wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad.
It wasn't that bad. I
think it's so very easily top 5 worst movies of 2023 that I've seen.
I'm thinking Little Mermaid, Strays, and Teenage Kraken are worse than this. Would this be number 4? I don't know. I'd have to think about it a little bit.
I will say Strays is very easily the worst movie of
All right.
2020. I forgot about Strays, actually.
There you go. See, you just have to think about it a little more, and this might pop out of your top 5.
I mean, it might. I mean, Transformers, your beloved Transformers is down there, so.
No, it's not. You shut that mouth.
Yeah, we go check out our PSA about Strays and what not to do when you see that movie.
Yeah, don't see that movie. Watch this over Strays.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for this talk. It was short and sweet.
Yeah, man, you're welcome.
Do you have a budget guess for me here today?
Yes, I do have a budget guess. I have no idea. This is Illumination. So, went a little high. So I went with 95 million because that's my animation guess now.
I get it. It's tough. It's tough. Animation, they're all tough. Every fucking movie's tough, unless they're Disney
they're
live
horror.
Action. Or horror, yeah.
I
they're
think I have
floating.
my horror horror guess
between
down.
10 and 20 million, depending on how kind of ambitious it is. That's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says here that it's 72 million, so not too
Ooh.
far off the money, but a little cheaper than Wish.
A lot cheaper than Wish.
It says here that it went on to make about $206 million, so
All right.
probably made a little bit of money.
Better than Wish made. Good job, Illumination. This is probably the worst Illumination movie, I will say.
Apparently over on Letterboxd, where 39,000 people are weighing in, this movie is better than Wish at a 3.1. You fucking joking me?
3.1? No, I'm sorry, no.
This is like 1.8, 1.9 material.
I gave it a 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
I love cute stuff, but you had nothing in the story.
Yeah, this is a total 1 in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Total 1.
Who's giving it 3?
I guess Letterboxd is full of fucking 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I did see one review that he said that it was the best Illumination movie that he's ever seen, and just how much of a feel good movie this was.
Where do you
know.
feel good at?
I don't know where he felt good at, but he felt good watching this.
All right, you guys, thank you for listening to this episode. Hope you guys know better. This is not a good movie.
No. It's not great. It's really not great.
But if you enjoy it, more power to you. Remember, we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with brand new episodes of the Filmsteins over on patreon.com/Filmstein, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the goods. Remember to leave nice comments, thoughts, and ideas over on our Patreon too. We appreciate all the support. Come by, subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you. But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmsteins, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins. Signing off.